Kinikinik is a short, instructive piece of theater that seeks to enlighten those who experience it. Commissioned by the Treaty Relations Commission of Manitoba, Governor General award-winning playwright Ian Ross created the piece, which serves to educate and share experiences relative to treaty and the treaty relationship.
The story and issues are explored through three main characters who act as guides to those who view Kinikinik. Written for all ages with a focus on a youthful audience, Kinikinik serves as an adaptable tool for exploration of themes surrounding treaties.
Designed to be performed by young actors who may not have considerable experience, as well as professionals. Adaptability is one of the strengths of Kinikinik, so that it may reach as many people as possible. Ultimately, the message of Kinikinik lies in the fact that
We are all treaty people. I'm the turtle.
I'm the wolf!
I'm the beaver.
We're here to share with you today
A bit of the past.
The present,
and the future.
Oh, we'll talk about history.
and don't forget the stories!
Hey, I was supposed to say that part.
Just chill. Easy, easy.
Whatever. Oh, you're such a biter.
I think we'd better start.
It's mine!
Guys,
That's
guys,
mine.
That's mine!
That's mine.
please stop it.
Let
Let me have the willow.
You let
It's
go.
mine!
Guys,
Give me
guys.
Hey! What? Give that back. It's mine.
It's mine! No,
It's mine.
Give it to me. No, it was mine! You... No.
Oh,
Quiet.
What? It was...
Quiet.
I-
That's better. Now, sit down. Listen. Do you even know what that was you were fighting over?
A stick?
a stick. Duh. It's a branch.
Like Indian affairs?
What?
They're a branch of the government, right? Is that what you mean?
No. A branch. Like a stick.
It's part of a willow. Let me tell you a story about what comes from that willow. Long ago, not far from where we are now, there were millions of buffalo. The buffalo were very important. They provided food, shelter, even safety. For as long as there were buffalo, the people who depended upon them could survive.
Hold on. What time period we talking about right now?
Why do you need to know what time period we're talking about?
Well, it was very different then from the time we're in now, right?
Yes, no one knew what global warming was.
Or iPods. iPhones. iTunes. Apple.
People knew what apples were. Those were invented already.
I meant the computer.
Yes, things were very different, especially for the ancestors of everyone here right now. There were no phones or cars or anything.
No cars? How did people get to the store?
Well, the telephone was about to be invented. There were light bulbs, phonographs.
Phonograph. What's that?
It's like a cassette tape.
Not exactly. It's a record player.
Record player? What's a record?
It's something you get if you're bad.
No. It's what people used to listen to music to. DJs still use them. That's where you get that waka 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 waka.
Okay, don't do that again.
Yeah, please.
On with the story. The people who lived in this time did things differently. Food came from what was hunted, grown, or gathered. Medicine came from plants and spiritual ceremonies practiced by the people and their healers. Long, long, long ago, when people and animals walked the earth together in harmony, Manitou took the form of a very big bird, and our Creator found a spot that would be very important to Native people. So important that it would be sacred. Do you know what sacred means?
Sure.
What then?
It's like respect.
Yes, the utmost respect. And belief. Well, Manitou came down to the earth and landed upon a huge piece of rock that stuck out from the prairie around it. Not that it was high, but it was not covered in grass, and the rock that was there was red. Manitou called his children to him. The Creator broke off a piece of this stone he had landed upon, and he formed it, and he worked it, and he made it into a pipe, and he smoked it. He then told the people, whom he loved very much, that they were made from the same stone as the pipe. It was them. And that when they smoked the pipe, good things would come to the people. They could find peace and harmony. Good story?
Yes. Very good.
Well,
Oh, come on! How come you always have to be so down about everything? Jeez.
Was there something you didn't like about the story?
okay, so look, check this out. So this story came from long ago, and the pipe was given to native people, and the people who lived here from long ago, and their kids and kids and kids of kids and so on, those people had a good way of living.
I think so.
So then what happened?
Well, things changed.
Well, of course they changed. Look around you.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, other people came.
Other people?
Yes.
From where?
Well, at that time, they came from a continent called Europe. But today, they come from all over the world.
But what happened to the kids of the kids of the kids of the people who were here before the other people came?
You see them around you every day.
I think what he means is, how come they aren't living the same? Like hunting the buffalo and stuff. Right?
That's not easy to answer. There are many reasons and much history. Way more history than we can show or tell in the time we have here.
So did things change right away? Or was it more kind of slow and gradual, and one day the kids of the kids of the kids woke up and were like, "Whoa, dude, where's my buffalo?"
It was a bit of both.
What happened when they met?
What do you think happened?
It was probably all like, "Sup?
Yo.
I'm not good at cracking an egg. You know what I'm saying?"
For sure. Just flip the script and it's majestic.
Hold it. That's not the way it happened.
It could have been.
I don't think so.
Well, the intention's the same.
Is it? Do you think they got along like this when they first met?
No. It was probably all like, "How?"
No.
Well, they obviously kind of got along because everyone's still here, right?
Not everyone. There were many that died. Some nations are gone. Completely.
What do you mean? Like one day China's there and then the next day it's not? That doesn't make any sense.
Kinda like that. But imagine if all the people in China disappeared.
That's kind of ridiculous. That's like 1,330,044,605 people.
Well, when I say some of these nations that used to be here are gone now, I'm talking about the people, not the land. The land was always here and will always be here long after we are gone too. But can you imagine all the people in a country disappearing?
Not really. That's too scary.
I can imagine that. 'Cause that's what happened, right?
Yes.
And I guess...
You guess what?
I guess there's no way to bring them back. Those nations that are gone, I mean.
Not really.
What? Why couldn't they save them?
Well, they did actually. Some of the people you see around us belong to nations.
What kind of nations?
First Nations.
First Nations. I like the sound of that.
Me too. Like, it means we were first. Kind of like when you post a comment on a website and you're the first one and you type first. That's so cool.
So, how did these First Nations survive? And if they were the First Nations, then who are the second and third nations?
Well, we all live in a larger nation we call Canada. And Canada was formed as a nation long after several other nations had already been in existence for thousands of years right here.
Cool.
Wait. All this nation talk. So then a nation is just a bunch of people?
Let me put it to you this way. Nations are expressions of a shared culture, language, and beliefs that unite people in a common bond. I know a place, not too far from where we are now, where these people from other nations and the First Nations met for the first time.
Cool.
What was it like?
All we can do is imagine, really. No one's alive who was there.
It wasn't that long ago.
In the big scheme of things, no. But it was long ago enough that the people who were there aren't here anymore.
So, then how do we know this even happened?
Well, the people who were there told others, and they told others, and so on and so on.
Oh, yeah. I heard of that. That's the oral hygiene.
I think you mean oral history.
No, that's brushing your teeth and stuff. I'm talking about when someone tells a story and keeps telling it.
You're a bit confused, but that's okay, because when these groups of people met for the first time, they were confused as well.
Why?
Well, probably because they didn't quite know who the others were or what they wanted. They also looked different from one another. Different shades of skin, different clothes.
Did they shake hands?
Maybe that was offered, but what if you don't know what that means?
It means we're cool. It's friendly.
You know that, but what if the person you're extending your hand to doesn't know that? What if their culture never had that gesture?
Then how do you say hello?
There are many ways of doing something, right?
Absolutely.
Then how do you ever make a deal?
There are many ways of doing that as well.
Like?
You can use words.
Like, I promise, if you let me have my branch, you can play with it later.
No, I don't believe you. That's my stick.
But I'm promising.
So? You're just saying that. It doesn't mean you're going to do it.
If I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
Well, how about if I promise the same thing to you?
No, you won't do it.
Sure I will.
No, you won't. You never keep your promises.
This saying words thing doesn't seem to work very well.
Sometimes it depends on your culture. For First Nations people, sometimes your word was all that was needed. It was good enough.
Okay, but what if you wanted to make extra sure that someone would keep their word?
There are ways of doing that too. Sometimes people got married.
What?
That seems a bit extreme. I don't want to have to marry everybody I make an agreement with. People would be getting married all over the place. I do not want to have to marry someone I don't even like. Oh, wait. That happens all the time, eh?
You're starting to see how difficult it is to make sure a promise is kept for some people.
People should just do what they agree to.
Yeah. Then there'd be no problems in the world at all.
Sadly, people don't always do what they say or agree to.
Hey, I know.
Yes?
What if you write it down? What if, say, I agree to let her use the stick for a certain pre-agreed amount of time, pursuant to certain clauses and sections of said agreement that would enable her fair use of the stick, but only as deemed fit by mutually agreed to terms, and only for said period of time as is deemed reasonable by the signatories, etc., etc. I could write it all up. You just have to sign it.
What? Wait. What did he just say?
Writing it down is one way to ensure an agreement, but you see the problem in that too, don't you?
What's wrong with it? It made perfect sense to me.
But it didn't make any sense to me.
Ugh. Well, we're not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm talking to the wall. We just keep going around and around.
Well, maybe if you used language I understood too.
Look, this is a real simple thing. Why don't you get it? Maybe if I talked slower?
I'm not stupid. What if we agree to share the willow?
Not good enough.
Why not?
I need some kind of assurance. A guarantee, if you will.
Fine.
Sweet. I'll draft the agreement, and you can sign it.
Wait, what's this I? We should do it together.
Okay, fine.
This is good. You're figuring things out for yourselves.
Maybe, but it's exhausting.
Yeah. Why is it so hard? Oh, was it this hard for the First Nations and the Europeans?
Yeah, well, what happened between those two anyway? How did they figure this all out?
Yeah. What did they do?
They came to an agreement. A treaty.
What's that?
Duh. It's an agreement.
I know that. He just told us. But what kind of agreement?
Good question. A treaty is an agreement or contract that's been negotiated between sovereign nations, countries, or parties.
Explain sovereign again.
Independent.
There's something I don't get here.
What's that?
Shouldn't the treaty you make be good for both sides?
You would hope so.
But that didn't happen here.
Not exactly.
That's so unfair.
Hey, life's not fair, right? That's what I always hear people say. Life's not fair.
Maybe that's not how you should look at it.
Wait a minute. What if we make this agreement and she thinks it means one thing and I think it means something else?
Do you have an example?
Well, say my relatives call me and say, "Could I stay at your place for a little bit?" And I say, "Sure." I think, okay, they come over and stay a couple of days, which is fine. But they stay for a couple of months.
When people don't speak the same language or even see the world the same way, it can be hard figuring out a way to find what you both need.
This must have been so hard. Who helped these people figure it all out?
The First Nations believed Manitou helped guide them in the treaties.
Manitou? Like God? Cool.
Can I have my stick now, please?
Hey, that's my branch.
Maybe. But life's not fair. And I just figured something out. Even if I make a treaty with you about the stick, I may not have to live up to what I agreed to, right?
You can do what you like, but is that a good way to behave?
I guess not.
No, it isn't.
Oh, man, this is so frustrating. I really want that stick.
But so do I.
We can't both have it.
You could if you shared.
That's what I said earlier. Share it with me.
I don't want to share.
Then we're never going to get anywhere, and nobody gets to have it.
Help us out here.
There's only one way you're going to figure this out.
What is it? Tell us.
It's radical.
That's okay. I like radical. I've even been called radical.
It might be hard work.
That's okay. We can work hard.
You might even get killed.
Really?
No, not really.
What is it already? What do we have to do?
You have to change the way you see yourselves.
Huh?
How do we do that?
Let's go back in history a little bit.
Not this again.
Bear with me. Remember our willow?
Kind of hard to forget.
Why do you want it so badly?
You know what?
What?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither. Oh, maybe because she wanted it so badly.
Sometimes people will do anything to get something, and they forget why they wanted it in the first place. or even how to share. This willow, that can be used as medicine. Remember the story I told you about the pipe?
Yes?
How Manitou said the First Nations people were made of the same stuff as the pipe?
Yes?
What is a smoking pipe used for?
Smoking?
Yes, but not for smoking in a way that's abuse, but smoking as a form of prayer, offering.
Oh.
And what was sometimes used along with the tobacco for the pipe, or instead of it, if there was no tobacco available, was the medicine that came from the willow.
Oh.
When the First Nations people and the Europeans first came to their agreements and treaties, pipes were used. The ceremony of the pipe was for communicating with spirits and even each other. They could make known what was needed and wanted.
I like that.
Does this stuff have a name? This medicine?
Kinikinik.
Kinikinik.
Let me tell you something about that word. When you write it down in the language of English, it's what's called a palindrome.
A palawadi?
A palindrome. I heard of that. That's like a word that's the same backwards and forwards, right?
Yes, if you read it, it's the same both ways.
Like ABBA.
Yes,
Oh, or race car.
it can be phrases too.
Yo, banana boy.
No lemon, no melon.
Never even.
Okay, that's cool. These words are like circles. They go around and around. But get back to this Kinikinik.
As I said, it was used in the pipe, and it helps us communicate. When the treaties were made between the First Nations and Europeans, the pipe was there, and so were the medicines.
Then how come things haven't always worked out with the treaties?
If all people got along, there'd be no reason to have treaties in the first place.
I thought you said we had to see ourselves differently for this to work.
I did.
Well, how am I supposed to see myself differently?
It's not just you. It's everybody who's a part of the treaties and the people who made them.
The kids of the kids of the kids.
And even those who aren't the kids of the kids, but who came to live in the nation that was created. Kinikinik is now considered a word in English, but it's really a word from the language of one of the First Nations.
What does it mean?
That which is mixed.
That which is mixed. Because it was mixed with tobacco?
Yes, but it's a lesson for us today. Everyone who walks on this part of the earth called Canada, we're mixed together.
From different lands.
Different languages.
Different cultures, but we all belong to the treaties which were made.
All of us?
Yes.
We are all treaty people.
But what if someone doesn't see themselves that way?
That's where you have to start seeing yourself differently.
That might be hard for some people.
Perhaps, but anything that's hard is worth it.
So, do you think if people see themselves differently, things will start to change?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh,
She can have it.
no, that's okay.
No. Really.
No. Really, it's okay.
I insist you take it.
No. You take it.
Ahem!
Let's share.
Good idea.
That's just like Canada.
What's just like Canada?
What she just said.
A good idea?
Exactly.
Oh.
And now, kids, we've got some study questions for you about Kinikinik. Who
Beaver,
is your favorite
beaver,
character in Kinikinik?
beaver.
Hey! Cut that out. I'm the favorite.
And why are they your favorite?
'Cause I can do this.
Yeah, but could you do this? Look, Ma, no hands.
Next question. Give some specific examples of new facts or ideas you've learned from Kinikinik.
I know how to say Kinikinik.
Me too.
And I know what a palawadi is.
Palindrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What did you learn about the treaties and the treaty relationship from Kinikinik?
Oh, I know. There were First Nations.
And they had different languages.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember anything?
Cool.
How can we, First Nations and Canadians, make the treaty relationship better?
We can think about ourselves differently. Yeah, I remember that.
I said that first.
No, I didn't.
Me.
What do you guys think? What does treaty mean to you?
Cool.
What does the phrase, "We are all treaty people," mean to you? Thanks, kids, for watching Kinikinik!
See you next time.